these employ a spell experience system, whereby the more you successfully use a particular spell, and the more experienced you'll become in it, the more powerful you'll become in using that spell. We've also been working on new creatures. There's a nasty creature called Smarian, that's a working title. And it's a large winged, black-winged creature. So evil that when you destroy it, it doesn't actually turn into mana, it turns into half a dozen tiny bug creatures that are very fast-moving. They basically seek out your castle and nibble away at it, and they're a problem for you. You've got to take care of them. There's also this large dragon-type creature, which for now we're calling a Hydra, because it's got five separate heads on segmented necks. And basically this is going to be the toughest creature in Magic Carpet 2. You've got to kill each of the 5 heads before you can destroy the monster as a whole. That's quite a challenge. The major thing we've been working on, and we're still working on, is the cavern levels. So as well as having day levels and night levels in Magic Carpet 2, you've got these underground levels. These take form, the sea is lava, and you fly down tunnels. You've got a roof over your head. Tunnels can get very small, and it can open out into vast canyons and rooms. And there's stalactites and stalagmites that get created, and it's looking very good.
In Magic Carpet 1, we were more or less confined to limitations of the engine. A lot of some of the graphics were actually left up to the computer. Some of the effects were left up to the computer. Now the artist has complete control. I've had complete control, so I've been able to do absolutely everything. So nothing has been left to chance at all. We've also tried to bring especially with the cavern and the nighttime levels, a more sinister feel. And basically we've upgraded the daytime graphics considerably since the first one. If you've seen Magic Carpet 1 daytime and you've seen Magic Carpet 2 daytime, you'll see a huge difference.
I've been working on the artificial intelligence for the creatures. It's getting quite big now. All the creatures have a number of different senses. They can see different creatures, they can smell different creatures, they can hear other creatures, and they'll react accordingly. So a bat will have a pretty bad sight, but it'll be able to hear a great deal. And if there's an explosion nearby, then it might be deafened by that explosion, and then that will be effectively blinded because its main sense will be damaged. Other creatures will have amazing sight, and if all the sight works on the light sourcing as well. So if something's hiding in shadow, it may well walk past the creature that's hiding in the shadow because it just can't see it. This is a great deal of intelligence. I can't think of any other game that has this level of intelligence, but for Keeper it's very, very necessary because the creatures can do so many things by themselves. Part of the game is controlling these creatures which are unpredictable and can do their own things.
Now, so the creatures you actually see have now got personality. They can now smell the dungeon. Not very pleasant, but they can smell the dungeon. They can see the dungeon. They can get a sense of where they are within the dungeon, and they can hear. Now, putting those 3 elements in there, obviously that's quite like human beings. Things you can see, sight, and smell. I don't think we've got touch in there yet, but that's a game of the future. The point is that they all have their own degrees of those emotions and those sensations and those feelings, and that's really adding to the game. We've also added multiplayer in now, so I can take over any creature in the dungeon. You can come in as a hero now and battle against those creatures. And you'll notice one of the elements that's been exciting a lot of people is the fact is that if you go inside a cockroach, you can scurry around the bottom part of the dungeon, and you can just hide at the back of a corridor and see all these heroes walk past. Or equally, if you go in as a dragon, you actually see the dungeon from much higher up. You can see even over the top of doorways. And the point is that each creature has its own attribute, and when you take over those creatures, you're bound by those attributes. So obviously, although cockroaches are really disgusting, they're not very deadly. Not like a dragon that can breathe fire.
last time we've made a huge amount of progress. We've actually started to get the new graphics in, the high-res graphics that Gary's been doing. Made a lot of progress with some of the new artificial intelligence code we're working on here, and some of the navigation systems. So the guys actually, at the moment they're a bit stupid, but they have the potential of being incredibly intelligent. We've made a huge amount of progress with something called complex functions that we're putting into the intelligence, which allows the doctors and the patients, etc., to do seemingly very complicated things that you've probably such as you've never seen before. People actually sitting down on chairs, not looking like they're sitting down on chairs, but pixel perfect sitting down using machines. Very, very complicated actions that they can actually do.
Team Hospital is going to be based through 4 key time periods. It's going to be very rough time periods in the sense that the 20th century will cover pretty much the whole of the 20th century, but may not necessarily change in style too much, so there won't be fashion changes or too many technology changes. But obviously high-res helps the game look very crisp and polished without having to try very, very hard. But what I want to do is try and obviously push the pixel as much as possible and make it look as nice as possible.